And we're live. I have a special one for today. First of all, is the main event. We're going to jump straight into it. Today is January 22nd, 2021. I had this in my recommendations. Immortal Machines. 250,000 views within a few hours. It's an animated short, 13 minutes. The thing is, I plan to watch this with you guys. Haven't seen it, of course. By the way, what really sold me was this line. Pinned tweet from him. By the way, I might have throat issues. I might have to clear my throat. Just for today. It was a nearly incomprehensible amount of work, which is crazy. So this is like his magnum opus. But right before I started recording, I found out that it's an actual series, and I'm very happy I found that out. So for the main event, we'll do the first 3 episodes. This is episode 7, right? And then I'll do the next 3 tomorrow, and then the last 2 in 2 days. Because, I don't know, apparently it's special. 48k likes. Again, day 1, this amount of views for an animated short is insane. So it has to be something special. So we'll check that out. But so if you're on Twitch, skip ahead 10 minutes if you want to skip to that. Because beforehand, I got to talk about my my princesses. Princess update. So I got Jane today and Esmeralda, which was pretty surprising. So yeah, we'll jump right into it actually. With so yeah, again, coffee, jitters, throat. Apologies for any of that. So Jane, this is not her movie, by the way. Chat, I'll bring it back later. If you can, I'll check it out later. The thing with Jane is it's not her film, right? So Tarzan, it's all about him. So she doesn't have much, but what she does have is pretty surprising, and I was really happy with it. First of all, I want to show you guys this. Again, copyright, can't put sound, of course. So I got music in the background. This is when she meets Tarzan and he saves her. And as far as a chase sequence goes, like a saving the princess sequence goes, this is the most elaborate. This is the most insane. And like he saves her life 100 times within 5 minutes. It's crazy. The amount of skill that's needed and everything. The flips. He's holding on to her. She saves him once, which is right here with the umbrella. And then other than that, it's all Tarzan. It's crazy. And my favorite part of the sequence is when she, right here, gets stuck on the, first of all, PTSD big time. Like, she's traumatized by this whole ordeal. She doesn't even know who Tarzan is at this point. There you go, she's being eaten alive by baboons for like 2 full seconds. It's crazy. And, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Right here, she's gonna be shaking. Look at her, look at the fear in her eyes. It's crazy. Anyway, amazing sequence. And, you know, it's hard not to fall for Tarzan after he saves your life like he did. It's crazy impressive. And but I really appreciated the fact that, you know, she's not, I mean, she swoons for him big time, but she holds back, you know what I mean? She keeps her dignity, and for a long time. The best thing about her character, what makes her unique, because again, she's barely in it, is her passion, which is of course, knowledge. She explores the world with her dad, trying to find the gorillas, etc., etc. But the one thing she loves above all is drawing. And there's something really cool. See right here, perfect example. So she's drawing him while he's like learning about the human ways. Look how into it she's in, you know. And look at that drawing. Look at that drawing. You know what I mean? It's insane. And I love the idea of the Disney animators drawing somebody who's good at drawing. It's like, it's meta, and it's kind of, anyway, it's the more you think about it, the cooler it is. And it's such a passion for her. I love this, because now they're hanging out more and more. But not only is she, like, she's swooning for Tarzan, right? There are moments where she thinks of him and she's just staring off in the distance, but right here in this moment, she doesn't care about Tarzan. She's into what she's doing, which is drawing, which is her passion. This bird in this case, right? And then what happens is probably the best date in the history of Disney. So not only did he save her in a more impressive fashion than anybody else does in any other film, but also this date is the best. It's crazy. Of course, shows her the birds. Not only that, but it allows the birds to connect with her, right? And then he earns her trust and shows her how to rope swing. It's just a beautiful moment, which, by the way, was probably the picture I was going to use, which is right here. Boom. It's close to this. And the craziest part of all this, right? Perfect rope swing, perfect mood, perfect lighting, perfect date. And she still doesn't kiss him. She's holding out, man. But, you know, I respect her for it. Anyway, so Jane, that's pretty much Jane. But again, the drawings are incredible. And if that was the simple side, we gotta go into Esmeralda, which, by the way, quick pictures of Jane. This is when Tarzan shows his trust and shows them the gorillas. It's like, this is why she's here, you know? It's a big moment for her. I'll skip Esmeralda for just a sec. But of course, these are to deny. Again, this is her being super happy that Tarzan is learning about the human ways. This is when he was drawing her, which I showed you. But this is, it's too good, right? It's too good. Because she earned that moment, you know? Like, man, he's not there to back her up. She did it by herself, even though, you know, of course he gave her the push. So yeah, that's Jane. Esmeralda gets crazy complicated, hence the title. Again, short coming right after. Music's getting sad, so let me back it up. So Esmeralda is insane because she is a freedom fighter and a street dancer, and that's what she calls herself. But it gets very complicated at the beginning where it's the first time they meet. This is going to get a little intense because it really is. But you must understand, this film is extremely like realistic and dark. It's funny, last time I was talking about Zootopia and how that was realistic, but this is a whole other level. It's about, like, you know, if you've seen it, it has the best villain. Yeah, it's the best villain, and because he's so dark and like he's a priest of the cross, right? But the whole movie, the reason he's villainous is that he has these sexual tension with Esmeralda that he cannot contain, even though he has to because of his religion. And that's just a villain story. There's a whole her being a freedom fighter for her people, which are gypsies. So it's the whole thing of, you know, oppression of the gypsies. It's crazy. Quasimodo is secondary to everything else. It's pretty shocking. Like, the movie shouldn't be called The Hunchback of Notre-Dame. It should be called the dang it. Oh yeah, there you go. The Outcast Gypsy Esmeralda. That should be the name of the movie because she is everything. Everything revolves around her. The villain is after her. Quasimodo falls in love with her, and of course she has a connection with the blonde guy, which I forget his name. But so here's where it gets intense. I had to say all that just to show you guys how real this gets, okay? And this doesn't look good for Esmeralda, but you must understand, she is forgiven after, and she does apologize profusely. But there's no denying what happens here. So this is where they meet, okay? Accidental, of course. She fully understands. And at this point, he's afraid to show his face because, you know, he's, you know, self-esteem. The goat is disgusted. She isn't. But here's the thing. She thinks he's wearing a mask right here. By the way, great mask, okay? So she has no idea that's his real face. Very important. Because, you know, the whole point of this scene is that everybody sees him as a monster, right? So now they're at full celebration, everybody dancing. Here, a big moment is, of course, her performance, which, by the way, is a performance. Don't forget, she's a street dancer by trade. That is her job. And, you know, no judgments, right? By the way, small detail here, but I could have used that shot right there if I didn't respect these characters. Man, like Jasmine in the red dress, or even Kira, you know, when she puts on her, like, swimming suit or whatever, people use those shots, but they go completely against who the character is. Like in this case, she's performing, and she's gonna look good performing. She's gonna, you know, do her best, and she got plenty of coin. It's her job. Same thing with Jasmine. Jasmine seduced Jafar in that scene to cause a distraction. It was her being smart and using her sex appeal, which she knows she has. And people use those scenes and those, you know, those pictures, those moments. And of course, you know, we all grew up on them. They were all like, you know, they're kind of sexual awakening scenes, you know what I mean? Kind of. But in terms of character, it's literally the opposite of what they're all about. So in this case, street dancing is a way to support her people and be kind of a leader for them, the gypsies. Okay, so here's where it gets serious, okay? Now, she brings all the masked people on stage so she can remove the mask. Aha, isn't this fun, right? Okay, I do have to wait till the moment comes because I don't want to miss it. It's very important. So again, Quasimodo thinks he has a mask. Here we go. Boom. Realizes it's not a mask. Her face, she looks at him just like everybody else looks at him, okay? So in this moment, she's like, ugh, you know, it's yes, it's shocking, it's not a mask, but she's also like, she sees him like everybody else sees him. It's a brutal, real moment, but it's very subtle and small. And then, okay, everybody's like, oh, he's hideous, right? But then they celebrate it, it's like it's a whole thing, but it's a ruse, right? Hey, we found the ugliest person, the fool, if you will. And then, of course, one of the most brutal moments in Disney history, gets thrown a tomato in his face, and then the ropes come in, and then it just becomes a lynching. Everybody's involved. Everybody is complicit. It is brutal. I have to skip ahead because it's that bad. But it gets worse. It gets much worse, especially for Esmeralda, and how she is perceived. Okay, so he's like, please stop this, Frollo. He's like, no. And then everybody's like, shock. Big moment of silence, because, like, by the way, she changed. She changed her clothes. Anyway, this moment of compassion, yes, but also a moment of deep regret, because she's partly to blame for this. And anyway, man, she didn't want to react that way in the moment, I'm sure, because it's not, they're all compassionate, right? All the princesses, it's the basic rule. But then it gets political, and I don't like it. Okay, she's like, oh, don't worry. Oh no, she says, I'm sorry, and she does mean it, right, in that moment. Okay, now get down from there, he says, okay. And she says, I will, but first, I will free this creature. Oh man, creature. I will free this creature. And she said, no, you will not. And then she does it. And she says, you mistreat this boy the same way you mistreat my people. Okay? So she called him a creature and a boy, even though he's like 20. Within 2 sentences of one another. And then that's when the freedom fighter comes out. She makes a big speech, freedom, you know, for my people, for the gypsies. So she turned his suffering into a political agenda for the gypsies. It's understandable, it's in the heat of the moment, and to be honest, like, it's an opportunity. She took the opportunity that was given to her. But the word creature, the word boy, before that, preceded by her reaction to his face, it's hard to, you know, there's a reason her and Quasimodo don't end up together at the end. It's because there's that, you know, it's a whole thing. And luckily, later on, she does apologize profusely. And Quasimodo is not free of blame. He also, there's a good scene where he says that he was taught that gypsies are evil. Literally, gypsies equal evil. And he says that to her face, and she's like, yeah, but I'm not evil, right? Then he sees that, but they were both brought up by circumstance. And her being a street dancer, by the way, means she's been dealing with bad men like her whole life. Like, you see it in this film, like earlier on, the guards start messing with her just because she's there dancing, you know? It's crazy. And that's pretty much it for Esmeralda. She does make it back up, but man, it's hard to get past that moment. It really is. And this is the sweet moment where they actually do connect, and they get past their assumptions. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But, and then this point right here, last point here, then we're going into the animated shorts. He brings her up, right, to his room. By the way, if you were to cut out these guys, you cut out these guys from the film, you would have one of the best masterpieces. They literally take the tension and the seriousness away. But I understand, because kids are watching this and they would be like traumatized if you didn't have some jokes in between. Okay, she's coming up. He shows her his art because he built stuff because he has nothing else to do, right? And she's like, oh man, she's amazed by this. And she says a great line. She says, if I could do this, you wouldn't find me dancing in the streets for coin. Crazy line right here. Yeah, if I could, you know, if I could do this, you wouldn't find me. I wrote it line verbatim, you know. Anyway, it's a crazy line. So yeah, and like technically in terms of class, she is the lowest class of all of the princesses, which in turn explains her suffering and the way she used that opportunity you know, even though it was misguided. Anyway, I found it interesting. Sorry if that went on for too long. Again, I'm passionate about this stuff, or else I wouldn't be doing it. And so because I did Tarzan and this one, all that's left is the 2 Frozen films. Wreck-It Ralph, same thing, both. That will be the last thing I watch, because Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. There's the scene with all the princesses together in 3D interacting with each other. And I'm purposefully leaving that for last, just to see how it all aligns. Because, man, these characters are so, so different from one another. And see, Esmeralda is not among them. Megara either. And both are extremely strong, but they don't fit the mold. They really don't. Because of their suffering, surprisingly. Esmeralda and Megara from Hercules are the 2 princesses that probably suffered the most, by far. And it's also, they have a hard shell. They're like turtles, right? So they're very defensive, and they don't flow well with others. So Esmeralda, in terms of picture, it's this one. It's when they connect on the roof. It's when she sees him for what he is, and he sees her as what she is. It's a nice moment. And yeah, like I said earlier, this is Jane for sure. That's it. Thank you so much for that. And then it's time for the main event. So again, like I said, this came out today. 250,000 views, 48,000 likes, but unfortunately it's part of a series. So we'll watch the first 3, which should take 10 minutes, a little more than 10 minutes, and then there's going to be 2 more here, then 1. Anyway, in the coming days we will do the whole series. Autodale. And of course, if this is his magnum opus, where it was nearly an incomprehensible amount of work, we'll see the growth in real time. Again, I don't know this series, and I won't talk for most of it, because this is not a reaction. This is a watch-along, very important to me. Chances are you wouldn't come upon this series. I was lucky that it was recommended to me. So we're just gonna watch it together. I'll share my thoughts after each episode. Here we go. Hopefully it all sounds okay.
Are we sitting comfortably? Good.
Pump it up.
Welcome, citizens of Autodale, to this PSA.
Give me a minute too high.
Children, look around the room. Look at your father. He likes to read the newspaper and kick his feet up after a hard day's work. He provides for your family. Your father is pretty. And then, children, look at your mother. Isn't her cooking splendid? She also keeps the house clean, and she reads you bedtime stories every night. Your mother is pretty. And now, children, look at yourselves. You're young, you laugh, you play. You may scrape your knees from time to time. You have friends. You and your friends get up to all sorts of playful mischief. One day, children, you will grow up to be just like one of your parents, and you will build a family of your own. One day, you will be pretty. Now finally, my pretties, look outside at your lovely neighbors. You're pretty. You're pretty. You're pretty. But alas, children, not everyone is pretty. Some are ugly. We don't want uglies, do we, children? You are ugly. You are ugly. You are ugly. We take the uglies away, so that you and your friends and your neighbors and your family can stay pretty. Remember that, children.
And freaky vibes. Good start. Clearly set up, right? But.
And this concludes today's PSA, citizens of Autodale. And children, like your parents and their parents before them, always remember
Nice.
to stay pretty.
Some story here. Man, I'm so happy I found this, because I was this close to skipping to the latest episode, right? We would have missed so much context. Disfigured. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry. There's blood. Dark subject matter here. Divorce. Man, these are like simple things. One of them is just like sterile. Brutal. Man, anything that makes anybody unique. One of them is like street dancer. some weird nudity. Hey, that was just 3 minutes. It felt longer. That's okay. Oh, it's still going. Might be something else. And good start. Like you can truly feel that it's somebody's vision, you know? Man, good stuff. So that's just the start. It makes me think of We Happy Few, which I played for a little bit. You know, we've seen this type of stuff, but it's uniquely shown. So here we go. Without further ado, we're just going to jump in. I'll talk more if I need to, but for now, we'll just keep going. 2 more. Again, this should be worth it. You don't get that many views, that many likes that
Having
fast.
trouble sleeping again? Is it the monsters? Sweetie, there are no monsters here. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was pretty and smart, truly exceptional, just like you. Today, the girl finds herself outside of town. Bedtime is fast approaching. Shadows dance between the trees. She too is scared of monsters. She starts running. A monster, she thinks. She begs for her family, for home, for safety. The girl is scared and alone. But just as all seems lost,
Reminds me of the Babadook.
she is saved. The handymen have come. The exceptional girl has made it home, and the monster is gone. For there are no monsters here. Not in Autodale, sweetie. We are safe here.
The hell was the monster?
Do you understand?
Bad influence? Like something that would stray you from the past? You just make it over the top instead of just like, you know, a gay man or a depressed person. Again, they're teasing that robot. You know what, this is really good. We might do 4 episodes, which means 2 more after this. Because they're short. Then they come long. Get the pretty one. Oh yeah, she did. I was wondering who that was. I thought that was the little girl grown up, but clearly it's just some other character, some random character. Like a freedom fighter. Exceptional. Like Esmeralda.
You're safe here, sweetie. Now, go to sleep.
Much worse than we thought, dear lord. Dude, how dark is this? This makes me think of the Matrix and how they're using human bodies.
You are truly exceptional. Autodale needs more children like you. So smart and so pretty. You won't run from your monster? Will you, sweetie?
Wait, isn't she supposed to run from the monster? Maybe the mom's the good girl. Maybe the mom was the character that was...
Are we sitting comfortably?
Anyway, we'll find out.
Well,
But yeah, I was saying, like the Matrix, right? In the Matrix, they use the human bodies as batteries. And then when you wake up from the Matrix, you wake up in that tube with the... Anyway, crazy scene, by the way. And now that the... I know I'm going off topic here. I'm talking about the Matrix. But the Wachowski brothers directed the Matrix now, right? But now they're both women. So now it's the Wachowski sisters. And I've rewatched it recently just to see if there's like some... I don't know, some trans elements in there. And that scene is the closest to that, where when they wake up from the Matrix and they're stuck and they're naked, and it's very there's a lot going on there. Okay, 2 more. And we'll continue tomorrow, leading to that magnum opus, right? That just came out.
imagination. So powerful. Your children are full of it. always having their minds drift off into the wondrous and magical expanse of their creativity, often visualizing brilliant and terrible things, impossible things. It's a dangerous thing, imagination, but an amazing thing.
Okay. Man, that was a long
Toys.
pause.
Such imaginative and wondrous things. Toys shape and influence your child as they grow. Mean toys may make them bullies. Soft toys may make them queer. Have your child grow up with the correct influences.
Whoa.
Have your child grow up pretty. With the new
Bad
9-inch
influence.
handyman doll.
Called it.
This action figure, as the boys may like to call it, comes in hardy blue and delicate pink.
They're
A
Buzz
handy
Lightyear.
man and a handy maiden for your little boys and your little girls. Your doll comes complete with a friendly action feature, electronic lights, and 5 memorable phrases.
Oh my god.
Phrases that will help inspire
really is Buzz
confidence in your
Lightyear.
child and help steer your young one in the correct direction.
Ooh, what a shot.
Toys. Such imaginative and wondrous things.
Again, they keep showing this robot. What is up? Oh.
Hello, child. Don't worry, you're safe here in
Space.
Autodale.
You're safe here in Autodale.
Cannot compute. Ooh, the contrast of color. Wow, took one moment, eh? She's gonna ruminate on that for sure. She literally ruminated on that in real time. That guy wasn't even ugly. Why is the dad not intervening?
Toys. Such imaginative and wondrous things.
Okay. Back to being a sheep. Like
Imagination.
that wasn't a fake smile.
So powerful. Your children are full of it.
Like she was right back on track,
They're
you know?
often visualizing brilliant and terrible things.
Okay. Let me just
but
confirm here.
impossible things.
Man. Okay, I'll save the next two. Because I see the next two are 6 and 5 minutes. We'll do those tomorrow. And then we'll do a big one the day after. And then finally the magnum opus that just came out the next time. But I'm in, man. I'm in. Big time. Sorry, chat. Didn't check. It's been a while. Okay. Okay, no after credits. That's it. But like I said, we'll continue tomorrow. This is really cool. Man, I wish I didn't put in the title because it's called the Autodale, the animated series. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I got those things to do, and but the biggest thing is, which is a surprise. Actually, I might show it to you. It'll take 2 seconds. Blood of Zeus. I talked about it a few times. Netflix series, Western anime, if you will, and it looks like Castlevania. Very well received, but the Immortals Phoenix Rising, which is another game I've been playing, is having a crossover event with Blood of Zeus. I'm like, damn, like today I had to catch up because you got to get to a certain point so you get to access this content. And the crazy thing is, Like, this was today. It just came out today. And it's only till January 28th, which gives us 6 days. 6 days for me to finish the series, which is 9 episodes, and get to a certain point in Immortals, just so that I feel like leveled enough so I can do this. But for sure I will stream it. Like, it's a big deal for me. So I haven't been... Blood of Zeus is like coming in the next days, so it'll be more princesses, more Autodale, the animated series, which we just watched, and Blood of Zeus talk, which I'm pretty excited about. So until next time, love and respect as always. Finally, I like to leave it on the picture every time, but since we've shown good old Jane and Esmeralda, we'll go on an older one that hasn't been seen in a while. Happy Mulan. Can't go wrong with that. She shaved China, man. None of them came even close. And not only like once or twice, but like, anyway, multiple times. And her bravery in the end is insane. Like, she goes one-on-one with Shan Yu, knowing that like it's just her and him, no backup. Like, she could die at any second, and she has no weapon. He's there with a sword, just like swinging at her. It's crazy. So until next time. Peace.